What's up, YouTube? So today on First Take, they're going to debate about whether or not the New England Patriots will correct and get rid of Jimmy G. Seeing that they're back at the Super Bowl again with Tom Brady, was it wise or did it even really matter to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo? Let's see what they have to say.
Did TB12 prove that New England made the right move in trading Jimmy G?
No, he didn't prove that. Got back to the Super Bowl. It's impossible to say whether Jimmy Garoppolo would have also gotten to the Super Bowl or even whether Jimmy G would have started had he stayed in New England. The point...
I think this is like a non-argument because you would have never known what would have happened if they would have kept Jimmy G. And it doesn't really matter because Tom Brady would have been starting to begin with. So it doesn't really matter. You can't really talk about hypotheticals. Because at his best thing, Jimmy would have been backing up Tom Brady.
Jimmy G was that he was a succession plan. Not that he would necessarily take Tom Brady's job right now. Although the old expression is, you trade a player a year too early rather than a year too late. I'm reminded of Joe Montana, his first year out of San Francisco. You know, they get rid of Joe Montana after Steve Young had been waiting a long time. And Joe Montana takes Kansas City to the AFC Championship game. Oh, wait a minute, it was a mistake to get rid of Joe Montana. He still has something left. So, Tom Brady...
I think Joe Montana was hurt and he was getting older. I think that's why they got rid of him. I think particularly because I think he was injured. I'm not too sure. I think he may have been injured. And Steve Young was in the background crying like a little bitch because he wanted to play, which I understand, and he did a great job. He's a Hall of Famer, and he took him to the Super Bowl and everything that goes along with that. But I think Joe Montana may have been injured. That's why they got rid of him. Kind of like how the Chargers got rid of Drew Brees, and a couple years later he went to the Super Bowl and won, and everything goes along with that. But anyways, that's another story.
He's on another Super Bowl run. He may even win it. The coda, the kind of end part of his career has been amazing. The Patriots make more Super Bowls now than ever before. But that doesn't mean that it was wise to have no succession plan at the most important position, which is why Bill Belichick had one in place until the owner undermined it.
I personally disagree with that. And the reason I disagree with that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, Tom Brady is universally recognized at this particular juncture as the greatest. And if you're going to have a succession plan in place to remove the greatest in the game, we need to see some precipitous drop-off. And it can't be, just statistically. We got to look at everything that he's working with, Gronk being...
Stephen A is correct on that. If you're going to get rid of arguably the best quarterback of all time, you're going to have to see some type of drop off, like you said, and you're going to want to see him he's going to have to be hurt or, not playing or something major. It's going to have to be something major. You can't just get rid of him because, he's getting older and, it's time to start looking for another quarterback because he probably won't be here in the next couple of years. You're going to have to see some major issues with the GOAT. He's going to have to be hurt, not playing for a couple games, a lot of games. There's going to have to be some major issues going on to get rid of possibly the GOAT. And this year and last year and the year before that, it's not showing any type of drop off. I mean, he's made it to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row and won one, and he might do it again this year. So I mean, this is really a non-conversation.
Injured, Edelman being suspended for the first 4 games. There's a lot of things that could have happened. Josh Gordon ultimately being exiled. There's a lot of things that happened to Tom Brady and that New England Patriots offense to get in the way of fluidity and productivity. And I think we got to take that into consideration. And then we got to get into Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo can play. We concede that. But let's also acknowledge this. He was called upon to start in 2016 when Tom Brady had to serve those first 4 games because of the Deflategate situation, and he had to be suspended for that. Jimmy Garoppolo lasted 2 because he got injured. Ultimately, he gets moved. He goes to San Francisco. He goes undefeated in 5 starts. Everybody's raving about him. He gets a $137.5 million deal, okay? He comes back, 2 games into San Francisco's career, in San Francisco's second season, that is. He's hurt again. So durability is a question mark because the best ability is availability. And the one thing that Jimmy Garoppolo has not proven is that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be available. The one thing Tom Brady has proven is that he usually is available, with the exception of the 2008 season when he got hurt in Game 1 against Kansas City. If I remember correctly, Tom Brady doesn't miss games. So Tom Brady is not just great. Tom Brady is not just a superstar. Tom Brady is not just a GOAT. Tom Brady is not just a champion multiple times over. He's not just a savant with the football. He is also somebody whose credibility elevates exponentially because when you need him, he's always there. And I think that you have to take that into consideration, which is why I think this has proven that, you know what, Mr. Kraft made the right decision by insisting that Tom Brady ain't going no damn place. Because if there ever was a player who earned the right to end his career where he wants to, as that dude, it would be Tom Brady.
Now, Stephen A. is correct in everything that he said, but the same thing could have been said about Joe Montana. Now, when Joe Montana left, he wasn't leaving off going 2 Super Bowls in a row, but, you know, he had everything going on. He was durable. He was a winner. You know, everything that goes along with what Stephen A. said, but the 49ers still let him go to Kansas City. Like I said, he wasn't coming off 2 Super Bowl wins, but I would never put anything past any type of organization to get rid of the GOAT at that position, to have them go to another team when they fall off or things aren't working out. I would never put that past anybody. I mean, it happened to Joe Montana. It happened to Jerry Rice. I mean, to see Jerry Rice in the Oakland Raider uniform was disgusting. But that's another video.
And Tom Brady does not. This is no farewell tour here at the Super Bowl. Tom Brady is not finished. He has goals to plan to 45, and it's just unexpected. Did Bill Belichick think he had a succession plan in Jimmy Garoppolo? Yes, that's what Bill Belichick does. He thinks years ahead. He thinks series ahead. He thinks plays ahead. But this is something he could not predict. Tom Brady winning the MVP 2 years ago. I think he was 40 years old. And then Tom Brady, as he is aging, still getting better and still doing something that I feel is the most difficult thing an NFL football team can do, and that's win in a championship game weekend setting on the road. And they did that against the Kansas City Chiefs. It takes an incredible amount of not only the ability at a quarterback position that probably Garoppolo has and the athletic ability, but to lead and have that leadership and respect of all your teammates and the confidence knowing they see 12. They know what happens when the coin toss flips and it's heads and he gets the ball in overtime, that it's game, that he will call game. It's that type of confidence, that type of leaderships that it would be impossible for Jimmy Garoppolo to prove to that team at this point. A part of me thinks, why are we even debating this? To see if Tom Brady proved them wrong or proved them right. But you just have to understand. I understand because this is just something we have not seen before. As a player ages and him still playing at a level to where he is leading his team to a championship. Yes, him making the throws on 3rd and 9s and 3rd and 10s and doing he does to lead that football team. So,
Teddy?
Yes.
How much credit do you give Tom Brady for this compared to how much credit you would give Bill Belichick? I'm talking about for whether it's durability, longevity, reliability, whatever words you want to use that you are lauding and praising Tom Brady for, how much of that credit belongs to Bill Belichick?
For me, I would say a lot of that goes to Bill Belichick because a lot of that goes into drafting and picking great offensive linemen to protect that man. I mean, Tom Brady had all the time in the world to throw the rock, to make the decisions that he needed to do. And if you can protect your quarterback and give him time to do what he needs to do, especially possibly the GOAT, the only thing you really have to worry about is his arm. Make sure his arm doesn't fall off. Make sure his arm stays healthy, and he can do whatever you need all day. Because he's a guru on top of his head, in his mind. So he can figure out what's going on. But if you can just protect him and keep his body healthy, he could probably go for another 2 or 3 more years. So I'd give that to Belichick. All that drafting.
Let me say this, Stephen A. You need a plan, okay? You need a game plan in all 3 phases, okay? You need them. And the best plans come from that man, come from that coach in Bill Belichick, defensively, offensively, and on the special teams, how you deal with players like a Tyreek Hill or a Kelsey or the running game of the Los Angeles Rams in the play-action game they're going up against, how they will deal with Aaron Donald. You need those plans. But, man, fellas, you need the players to execute these plans.
You know what the thing is, real quick, Teddy?
Good players, and at the quarterback position, there's been the greatest, the most important position to convert. You can run any play you want on a 3rd and 9 and have Edelman in the middle of the field. Did you see the accuracy?
Yeah.
Did you see the throw in the tight windows? Did you see them?
Yes.
And so